My name's Sandy and I'm Head of Installations here at londonsafes.co.uk. As you can see from my shirt, we offer free delivery and fitting on all our bolted safes in the London and home counties area. And now my colleague David is going to give you a brief overview of our award-winning Bloomsbury safe range.
So in this overview, we'll have a quick look at the sizes roughly and the features of the Bloomsbury range. So if you want to get in touch on our website, this is londonsafes.co.uk, you can just click there, and if you're on a mobile phone or a tablet, if you click on WhatsApp now, that will start a chat immediately. You can call us by clicking there from your mobile phone or dialing that number. During office hours, you can send us an email from that link there, or you can just have a look at the safes. You simply click on there and you'll find the various safes that we offer with the ratings, and our recommended safes are here, and the Bloomsbury that we've been talking about today is there. You click there and there they are. This video will be fairly short, but there is a long form version where I go into much more detail. So if you're watching on YouTube, there'll be a link in the top right hand corner now. If you're watching on the website, the link will be on the page that you're viewing, but it will be just below the video somewhere. Available in 6 sizes. And on this bench, we've got the size 1, the size 2, the size 3, and the size 4. And we jump over to this bench. We've got the size 4.5 and the biggest of them all, the size 5. I've got all the drawers open now. They all come with one removable shelf apart from the size 5 that has 2. They give you an idea of the insides. Size 4 at the end. That's the 4.5. And that's the size 5. In the size 5, we've got this fire resistant box, which is an optional extra that you'll see on our website. Okay, so this is weird, but if you're not watching in the UK, you might not recognize this, but I'm putting the large can of Heinz baked beans next to each safe, just for a very quick sense of scale for the safe. So that's in front of the size 1. The full dimensions are on the website of each unit, by the way. And that's in front of size 2. And the size 3. They all take A4 paper, by the way, apart from the size 1. And the size 4. And the size 3, by the way, if you're looking to store laptops, that's going to be your entry level size that will take laptops. It's the baked beans in front of the size 4.5. Now in front of the 5. For all the features and the reason that we recommend these so highly, I'm going to focus on the 4.5. They all have these same features, but I've already filmed a bit on this 4.5. So why do we recommend these so much or so often? It's because they are about the best quality safe on the market, and they really have thought of everything that lots of manufacturers haven't done. But the key features that you've got because most people want a digital safe, they want to open it with its battery operated, they want to open it with a keypad, they don't want to think about keys, but what they don't think about is what if they forget the code, or if years down the line, what if something goes wrong with the electronics. Incidentally, we're in our 30th year now of selling these, we've never had one go wrong, but with this particular range of safes, you have emergency keys, which is something that you're really not seeing on safes like this anywhere. Have that little E, and that's a sticker, and that's your secret keyhole. Just peel that away to reveal the keyhole, and that's where your key is going to go in. So let's say you've forgotten your code, and this is what the keys look like. So they are proper double-bitted safe keys, not like locker keys that you get with some safes. So I'll demonstrate the normal use of the safe, and then we'll look at the emergency key. So to open the safe, it's a 6-digit code. So the factory code is 6 ones, but you've got to press on and then E with the 6 ones in between. So you press on, and it beeps, and then the 6 ones. And then the E, and what's going to happen is the OK light's going to come on, and you've got about 2 seconds or 3 seconds to turn the knob while that OK light is on. And actually, it's a bit longer than that. Look at that. Yeah, so maybe 5 seconds. And now you've opened the safe. I've got that sticker already removed. So you come to your safe. You haven't used it for a long time because you don't open it very often. And you go, oh, the code. Who's got the code? Have you got the code? And you ask. your partner and they can't remember the code. No, I think you wrote it down, and there's a bit of an argument. And they go, that's okay, because we've got those keys. And we suggest you keep the keys off-site somewhere else, perhaps at a loved one or at work. And you simply take your key and you open your safe. And the code doesn't matter at this point because you're using your emergency keys. You turn the key, the safe is now unlocked. It's bypassed all the electronics and you can get into your safe. And that's a feature that's an absolute lifesaver. And we get phone calls all the time as a safe company from people saying, well, I'm locked out of my safe. It could be a safe like this with no emergency key, or a safe like this with no emergency key, or many others. And we have to break the news to them that they're going to need a safe engineer to get the safe open, or a very highly talented locksmith if it happens to be one of the easier safes to open. But not with the Bloomsbury, because you've got your keys. But that's not the only trick that this safe has got up its sleeve. So the other scenario is you come to the safe and the battery's flat and you can't get into it. You know you've got those keys somewhere, maybe, as I said, with a loved one or at your place of work, but you need to get into the safe urgently. Well, they've thought of that. So you see these little circles here and the plus and minus, the big and the small circles, well, they correspond to the big and the small terminals on a regular 9-volt battery. And all you would need to do is to press this against these two terminals. And while pressing, obviously I'm holding a camera in one hand, you enter your code because you're powering the circuitry externally. You still need to know your code. It's not going to open it without knowing the code. You enter your code in the normal way and the safe will open. And then you can get in and change your batteries. And those batteries just live in this little door here. It's 4 AA batteries on this size safe. And we recommend you change these every 12 months or sort of on the anniversary of when you got the safe is the best thing. Just a little screw that holds that down. And we have a separate video on how to change the batteries, but it's really quite simple. But there's more. So the safe is very, very secure. And the reason it's so secure is it's extremely well made. So it's all made from solid steel that's all welded together and beautifully finished with these rounded edges. But the front of the safe is one solid, or it starts its life as one solid slab of steel, and then using a roboticized laser, that's not easy to say, the door is cut out with a very fine tolerance out of that front slab, and it's not perfectly square because it's got this deliberate sort of arc in it to make it more secure, to make it more difficult to prise it open. Because the gap is so tiny here that if I just about get my fingernail in, if a burglar was trying to get a wedge or a screwdriver or a crowbar into that to try to prise the door open, it's not going to happen. So that's a very important feature. If we compare that to this Sentry safe, for example, you've got such a poor tolerance in the door that you can get a crowbar in there. You get 2 or 3 crowbars in there, one in the side, and you can start to try to wrench the door open. The internet or YouTube is full of videos on how to open things like that. Not going to happen with the Bloomsbury. If we go around and look at the bolt work of the safe, you see you've got these. I've just locked it with my other hand. You've got the 2 bolts on the top, 2 more bolts on the bottom, 3 bolts on the side. They all lock into these additional welded plates that have these receivers for the and there's, I don't know if I can show you that at the top as well there. Yep, for the bolts to go into, which are protected. Heavy duty hinges that are concealed. They're on the inside of the safe, so they can't be attacked. Not that attacking hinges on proper safes ever gets you in, but some burglars think you do. They start trying to grind them or whatever. But you've got the extra security of the hidden hinges. And additionally, you've got 4 10mm fixing holes in the back of the safe, in the base of the safe. I'll just pull the carpet. They come with a carpet, these, to show you the 4 fixing holes in the base. And if you're using all 4, you're going to get a very robust installation. It becomes very difficult to get a safe like this out, albeit impossible if it's bolted to 2 solid surfaces. So you've got those 4 base and 4 rear fixing holes in all the larger models. So the 4.5, the size 5, the size 4, the size 3, and the size 2. The size 1 just gets, because there isn't really room to get your tooling in to do them up, there's 2 rear fixing holes and 2 base fixing holes. The safes are made in Italy by a company called Technomex, And in the UK, they're marketed by us as the Bloomsbury and also by Burton Safes as the Torino. If you want to make your price comparisons, then you'll be Googling for the Burton Torino 1E, and that would give you the information on this size, and then the Burton Torino 2E, because it's electronic, and so on. And the size 1 through 4 also come in key locking. So if you just wanted a simple key locking without any electronic keypad, they are available on the website. So I said award-winning, didn't I? So let's back that up. So which magazine? The Consumer Magazine did and I've got it here printed out, did a review of safes and testing safes, and the Burton version, which is the safe that was presented to them by Burton Safes, but it is in fact the Technomax safe, was the best on test. And what does it say? The Burton is easily the most secure safe we tested. Well-built model, successfully passed every trial from our experts put it through. We drilled it, hammered it, and tried to wedge the door open with a hammer and chisel, but it wouldn't budge, and it goes on there. I'll leave that for a moment if you want to pause it. Second place, by the way, was the Chubb Black Box, which they stopped producing shortly after which magazine gave them such a high rating, which was a real problem for us because we were selling lots of both of these safes up until the point that Chubb stopped making that particular safe. So Chubb don't have anything like this. They don't have a safe with a fully cut laser door, emergency keys, a battery backup, etc., etc. They simply don't have it in their range. So now I'll link to the longer form video. So we deliver and install free of charge in these areas. It's basically London and the home counties. Only potential extra charge is if we have to trim your skirting board in order to get the safe in contact with the wall. You can't have that gap at the back. If you head over to the website, londonsafes.co.uk, you'll find we have a button for WhatsApp. You can just click on that if you're browsing on your mobile phone or a tablet, and that will take you straight through to a chat. And that normally is with me. So if you've got any questions, please ask. I try to man that chat from about 8 a.m. to about 9 p.m. Sometimes in the evenings, I might not be available, but I'll reply to you as soon as I get back to work in the morning. Thank you. And thank you very much for watching.